This is the ECT News Network's weekly recap of some of the top stories in the world of technology. It's Friday, June 11th. I'm Paul Hartsock, and here's a sample of what's been going on. You'd think that if you were the sole U.S. wireless provider of two of the most talked about gadgets in the world, you'd be having a pretty good time right now. iPad sales are steaming, and it's iPhone season again, so why doesn't AT&T look like it's having any fun? Well, along with the grumbling over the data cap it's dumping on new customers, there was the perennial gripe about this year's iPhone presentation, that it didn't include a move to Verizon. That can't do wonders for AT&T's self-esteem. And now yet another embarrassment has arrived at AT&T's doorstep. There exists a group of security researchers, some might call them hackers, that goes by the moniker Goatse Security. And deciding not to research the etymology of that name will be the biggest favor you do for yourself all day. This group was poking around AT&T's systems one day when it discovered a flaw that allowed it to compile a list of email addresses and device ID numbers for more than 100,000 owners of 3G-enabled iPads. Goatse reportedly shared the exploit with third parties and warned AT&T about it, but AT&T says it was never contacted by the group. It says a business customer was the one who called them out on it. Speaking to Business Week, a Goatse representative says his group was acting in good faith and that it gave the information to Gawker Media's Valleywag with the understanding that it wouldn't be published. Let that sink in for a minute. Gave it to Gawker thinking it wouldn't be published. Yeah. Well, that hasn't stopped the incident from gaining the attention of the FBI. It's opened an investigation into the hack on AT&T's website. The Goatse rep said nobody at his organization has heard from the FBI, so I guess nobody's communicating very well right now. Anyway, AT&T plugged the hole, but the damage had been done. The 3G-enabled iPad is the pricier model, and some of the people who sprang for them are high-profile types who presumably want to keep their personal email addresses known only to friends and family. But what's the real damage here? If your name's on that list, are you royally screwed? Probably not. It was just an email, not a password. So as long as you're not a total sucker for spam, don't expect your world to come crashing down around you. And that product ID number? Meh. Carl Howe at the Yankee Group told us, quote, "You can't do anything with the iPad serial number. It's not terribly useful to anyone else other than AT&T. The hackers have the serial numbers of iPads and their owners' email addresses, and that's all." So maybe AT&T will wind up suffering the worst headache out of this one, just from a PR standpoint. It certainly isn't going to give Apple a boost of confidence in the carrier. David Harley at ECT told us, quote, "AT&T is hardly a mom-and-pop operation, and it wasn't unreasonable for Apple to expect professionalism and expertise from the partnership with AT&T.